I teach my people? How do I teach my congregations? And you just have to do it. You know, they're so worried about the ridicule that they're going to receive. But you know what? Like I've said, for all the good these churches think they're doing on Sunday, Sun God days, what good are they really doing? What good are they doing? The 7 annual feasts, folks, we need to keep those 7 feasts. The Lord commanded us to keep the feasts. He never changed them. Constantine did. You know, you have to think about Malachi. I see Malachi come up in the codes a lot. And it's the whole message that Malachi said. The message in the last days would turn the fathers and the people back to the Lord, turn their hearts back to the Lord. You know, and that's what I think the message is. I think that this message, to be heard in the nations before he comes back, as he says, this gospel will be preached in all the nations before he returns. And of course all the little harlot churches say, oh, it's this sit on your couch, license to sin mentality, law of grace Christianity. No, that's not the gospel he's talking about, folks. And by the way, gospel just means message. It's not the KJV. The KJV did not exist back then. Okay? So many people think, oh, this is the gospel, the KJV. No! Not referred to. Was in reference to the Torah. The first 5 books of the Old Testament. You know, and I think that this message that's going to be proclaimed, because it's getting more and more out now anyway, isn't the erroneous one being taught today, but the message of true worship of the Lord, of accepting Yahushua, learning his name, accepting him as your Messiah, repenting from your errors and turning away from your errors and your sins, and walking in him in truth, honoring his Sabbath day and his appointed times. And this is the message that I think is the one that's going to be preached. I think people are finally going to see what the whole purpose of everything he ever said was. We're to turn away from evil, get out of the apostasy and blasphemy of the church today. And the Lord's calling many people to come out of them. Those who can hear him, he's telling them to come out. Because they're leading people into apostasies, errors, into the pits of hell. How many people are following their pastors into the pits of hell? And they don't know about it because they're deceived. And that's what deception is, folks, because if you knew you were deceived, you wouldn't be deceived. You know, right, backtrack a little bit. What did the early believers believe? What was it the apostles taught? Start your own research, folks. Get on the internet and start doing research on the early church believers. Way before Marcion threw everybody's books out but Paul's. You're going to have to go all the way back to 1st century, 180, 280, and learn what the early church believed, because they did not teach or believe what is being taught in the churches today. And that's why the Lord's leading so many just to get out of the churches, because there's not even a good Messianic temple out there that's honoring him. Some there probably is. But how many of them today? You walk in a Messianic temple, and they're quoting the Talmud, they're reading out of the Talmud, Satan's book. The Lord allows these deceptions in our midst to test us. The Lord's people are always being tested. Since the Garden of Eden, he has tested his people. And it's the same thing today with the KJV. He's testing his people, because if you're praying to him and leaning on him for truth in all things, he would reveal it to you, and he will show you the difference between his son, Yahushua, and what the apostles taught and what Paul and the Christians believe in our teaching. Two different things. Two different things. Well, that's all I want to share today. I'm not sure what I'll title this. Maybe the lives of the churches or something. I don't know, but I'll have it up here today. If you have any questions or comments, you can reach me at SherryTalkRadio@yahoo.com. Like I said, I encourage you to go read the articles at the articles section on my website at SherryTalkRadio.com. And I'll talk to you guys later. God bless to you all.
Others couldn't stand for that. The cross was a solution, but it rose again. Wise men follow him, but it rose again. Wise men follow him. Thank God for the renegade and the lions they lead. Bloody war and liberty for their descendants. Thanks to the renegades, free today. Thanks to the renegades, free today. Thank God for the renegades and the lives they lead far ahead of their time.